Hello and welcome once again to Punters Inside Run. I'm Matthew Campbell. I'm joined by Mick Sharkie. As always, he's a man in form. And Shark, we've got the footy out of the way. For you and I, Spring Carnival's been going for a fair while. But for a lot of people, as soon as the footy finishes, for the next 7-8 weeks, they are punters. They are into Spring Carnival and they're excited, just as we always are.
Well, the pressure goes on us, Matty, doesn't it? You know, they may not have been watching previous episodes, so previous form counts for nothing. It's all about what we do this weekend and going forward towards the majors. But you're right. After the Turnbull, we're into the Guineas, then the Caulfield Cup, then the Cox Plate. It all comes around very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's all mapped out for us, isn't it, over the next 7 weeks? But let's get to what is a huge day at Flemington on Saturday. So many group races. The Group 1 Turnbull Stakes. It's an interesting race, isn't it? Because we've got this Hong Kong superstar Romantic Warrior who on paper is a world-class horse and should take care of these. Is he going to be wound up first up, 2,000 metres? I don't know. It's a race I may just watch.
His presence makes it, particularly at the price, makes it nearly impossible to bet in the race because Danny Shum, his trainer, has been very open in saying that he's not completely wound up. He needs this run. He missed a crucial barrier trial in Hong Kong before he came to Australia. He was off his tucker for a little bit there. They feel that he's working well, but they don't know. They don't know if he's in winning fitness at the moment. So if the trainer's not sure, I'm not sure, and I'm certainly not sure at $2.15. So I think we can have a bet in the race and maybe stick with that international runner form. European imports in particular have a great first up record, first time out in Australia. West Wind Blows is a horse that brings Group 1 form to this race from the UK. He's been close up behind really good horses like Paddington and Pile Driver. It's probably Pile Driver's the form line that interests me most from the Hardwick Stakes. He's a Group 3 winner in France. A little bit of giving the ground's fine. He's perfectly okay on top of the ground. He's a horse that should lob in the first half of the field, and he's got a neat turn of foot on him. Jamie Spencer is coming halfway around the world for this ride, and then he goes home again before the Caulfield Cup. So he wouldn't be making that sort of journey if they weren't confident the horse would show up and go well. He's an each-way bet for mine in this race.
Yeah, and I doubt whether he's in row 55 on the plane as well. I don't think I'll let Osipenko go round with at least having something on Osipenko as well, because we've been talking about this horse for quite a while. But interesting race. So many other group races at Flemington on the weekend. We've got the Edward Manifold. We've got Group 2 racing, the Danehill, the Kingston Stakes, the Gilgai. What about a couple of races, group races you want to play in?
Yeah, the Danehill's the race I want to hone in on. I think this horse of Lloyd Kennewell's, I'm Unstoppable, is absolutely ready to win. Getting to 1,200 metres now is a massive plus. 1,100 metres, stays at 1,100. But you know, getting third run into this prep is, you know, when we should really see him start to peak and hit his straps. He's chased home Cylinder from the back of the field. He's chased home Archo Nacho last time. When Archo Nacho was right in the right spot in a race run to suit those on speed, let's say, I'm Unstoppable was finishing off like a train. I think he wins the Danehill. He's a good bet on the day for me.
What about in the Gilgai Stakes? Samajik is a horse I'm keen on. In fact, we'll get to Sydney later, but I think Graham Begg might be in for a winner or two on the weekend.
Yeah, I was with both Samajik and Magic Time at Caulfield when they were both first up there. I thought their trials were really, really good. When I saw them on race day in the yard, they looked a touch big in condition to me, and they both ran accordingly. They ran well. They were in the box seat. They loomed up to do something, but they just blew out that last 100, 150 metres of their races. Graham Begg since said that, you know, they'll both really bounce out of that run, and I expect them to. Samajik's got to run down Star Patrol, but she's very sharp and good down the straight. We've seen her run in a Coolmore and be placed in a race like that in the past. So she's got a lot of ability. I think down on the 55 kilos against Star Patrol on 59, I think she's a great bet.
Yeah, I think there'll be genuine speed on in that race, won't there, with Jigsaw and Star Patrol. I think Samajik could be getting home. What's your best at Flemington? I don't mind race 3, number 5, Apulia up against the favourite. I think better value was, at one stage, it was $2.40 against $5. And I think getting the blinkers back on off the back of that run at the Valley, I'll be backing Apulia in race 3. But what's your best?
Yeah, I agree. I think Apulia is a good bet. I think I'm Unstoppable is probably my best there. I think there's a really good roughie in that Superimpose, the race you just mentioned. There's a lot of horses here that are bred to stay. They've got recent winning form, albeit in maidens, but they're getting to their right trips now. There's a horse there, number 15, Bulawayo. He ran in the Stud Stakes last week. I don't think the Valley was his track. Getting onto a big track where he won his maiden really well at Bendigo at the start prior. Would not shock me if this horse turned its form right around, Matty.
All right, we move on to Rosehill. Group racing there, 2 Group 2s and a Group 3. We'll start with the Hill Stakes, the main event. It's not a race I'm really keen on. I'll probably have something on Zagreb getting out to the 1,900 metres. Where did you want to play?
Look, it's the sort of race where the usual suspects are going around, like your Numerian, Zayrek, Huyamal, Montefilia, Ms. Reliable. She's always pretty good around this level. I just am working away from that form line a little bit. I want to have a look at He's a Shocker. Now, this horse has run really well in Sydney in the past. It was 4th in the Queen Elizabeth behind Dubai Honour, Mounga, those sort of horses, just under 3 lengths from those sort of horses. He's run really well in an Australian Cup without luck. He's gone well at group level in Sydney over 2,000 metres. Craven Plates and the like behind Cascadian. So he's up to this class of horse. He has had no luck whatsoever with barriers this time around. He's drawn 13 and 16 so far around Caulfield. He draws a little wide again here, but I think getting to this trip with Zach Lloyd on, he's a sort of jockey that can make things happen. I think at an each-way price at double figures, I'll be having something on He's a Shocker in the Hill Stakes.
All right, we've talked about in the Group 3, the division, we've already talked about Magic Time being one we're keen on. What else did you want to back in Sydney? Yeah,
Magic Time race 9, number 5 definitely is a bet for me. I think probably the best in Sydney. And look, a lot of people are going to find it, but it just looks a standout play for mine. In race 6 in the Tap Craig, worth $500,000, number 1 NCAP.
Yeah.
Now, runner up in the Golden Rose. You're getting black figures about a horse that's got Group 1 form. There's some really nice up-and-coming horses in this race. Ducasse in particular, now that it draws a gate, it's another one that hasn't had a lot of luck with barriers this preparation. It has a bit to find, though, I feel, with NCAP, who I think should go out there and just get the job done for punters in the 5th.
Yeah, it was home in that Group 1 until we saw Militarised just come and blouse it on the line. Militarised now a 3-time Group 1 winner. Draws perfectly again. Should sit 1 by 1 again. So I'm with you. I think NCAP into Magic Time is a bet for the day in Sydney.
Yeah, and look, the other race of, I guess, point of interest on the day is the Roman Consul, race 5. We've got King's Gambit, who ran so well first up in the side and at Flemington, versus Osmosis, who came back and just dropped a bomb, didn't he, when he went around in the Heritage Stakes, winning that so well. So that's a great little battle in itself, King's Gambit versus Osmosis.
Wouldn't forget Celestial Legend there as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shark, always a pleasure, mate. It's going to be a sensational day. Now, you might be trackside.
Yeah, I will be, Matty. I'm going out there for a look around. I want to have a look at this Romantic Warrior. I'm going to go and look at him in the pre-parade. I'm going to have a good look at him in the mounting yard. Just want to see how he handles the day at the Australian races.
All right, mate. I may run into you. I might buy you an ale because I might wander out there myself.
It's important to stay hydrated, Matthew. Responsibly, of course.
Even if it is 15 degrees. Shark, always a pleasure, mate. Talk to you next week.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.